authentic, raw, and transparent art. Authentic, raw, and transparent. I just ask that every guest come up here be authentic, raw, and transparent. Because you never know who we are helping by being yourself, by telling your story, by being real. And of course, and everybody knows as men, we don't do this enough.
I love you, Daddy.
This is For Fathers Podcast, a safe place for fathers to uplift and encourage with the understanding that we are the forefathers of the next generation. This is episode 90 and the first video podcast. Man, I can't bring the best news that I have received in the last 6 months and I have experienced. I am a full-time dad. Yeah. I mean, pray for it. We talked about it on past episodes. How much I wanted it. How much of it wanted to experience that. I've envied those that I've interviewed that get that chance. And now, since about October of last year or so, full-time dad. What an experience. I've been loving every second of it. Every second. I had the joy and the pleasure to find a daycare. But hey, finding a daycare? Sheesh. That's not easy, especially for a 4-year-old. Sheesh. What? Let alone paying for it. Let alone paying for it. But finding one? By God's grace. The only way I was better to find daycare. By my job, less than 10 minutes away. Less than 10 minutes. I find daycare. I find activities for her to go in and do with the daycare. They have soccer with the daycare, or just even go to the playground. She comes with me to practice, all kinds of stuff. That full experience, coming home, getting her ready in the morning, making breakfast. She like eating grits all the time. I do too. I eat grits every morning. She eats grits with me. She used to eat oatmeal, but now she's eating grits. Cheese, salt, pepper, butter. Man, I ain't think she eat grits, but she be killing it. So every morning, waking up before her, got prayer call, do my own devotion and study, then wake her up, get her ready, get to daycare, and then get to work on time, making sure she's fed, and then she eats again, because she eats a lot. Man, that girl, I got my youngest, Amara. That girl eats. I be thinking she eat more than me sometimes. Her poop definitely stank as much as mine. Like, grown woman. I'm like, girl. But she's an eater. She's energetic. She's all over the place. I mean, she be talking my head off all day long in the car, riding to work, coming back from work. At home, she's jumping on me, jumping off me. Oh, the full experience. I've never had the experience outside of summer camp, picking up, dropping off at daycare, getting those notices, and they use an app, getting notices of what she did and pictures and what she ate that day, so I can start conversations when she get in the car. I mean, the full experience. Like I said, talking my head off, jumping off me, climbing on me. She's so energetic. She's a gymnast. She jump off anything. She want me to push her down. She want to fight. Let's fight. Always wanting to fight. I don't know if I'm to blame or not, because I definitely be getting there sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. But man, being a full-time dad is everything that I thought it would be. Everything. And I could not ask for a better experience. But I don't know if I even enjoy the experience as much as I do without my past experiences. As I've always talked about on different episodes of the podcast, things that I've experienced as a father. I don't think I would enjoy it as much. I don't think I would treasure it as much as I do if I didn't have those experiences. So, in a way, I'm glad that I went through a lot of things that I went through. So now it's time for me to step up to the plate and be a full time, be the primary influence. I'm willing to step into that. And it's easy for me in a sense of I wanted it. I wanted it. And I didn't know how beautiful it was until I did it. But like I just said, that I'm a primary influence in terms of like learning, in terms of what she hears, for the rules they have to follow. I'm the primary influence. And so you really have to watch what you say, watch what you do, how you move, because she is mimicking, copying everything I do, good and bad. But it's a responsibility that I'm willing to have, a responsibility that I take delight in. So I'm the primary influence. I make sure to teach her about God, teach her words, teach her how to spell her name. And even though daycare is definitely doing all that kind of stuff, because it's like a school almost, I'm doing my own set of education as well as, who she calls my mom, Gigi and Poppy, all that. Everybody, aunties and uncles, everybody's helping. But when she's at home, I'm talking to her and encouraging her and telling her how much I love her and giving her my love, embracing her, letting her feel, giving the attention that she needs. And it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I love teaching her about God. She asks certain questions and just look at that. I was, oh yeah, God made that, or God did the sky. Why the sky blue? Or the clouds. Oh, you see the clouds? God did that. I can put my own twist and everything. And she's such a spiritual kid in a sense of she retains gospel songs, gospel words. When I listen to messages in the car, she's listening because she's commenting on it. And that's what I'm imbuing her spirit with, what I'm permeating her mind with the gospel, with the word, with gospel music. And I'm so glad I'm at this point in my life. Because honestly, I would not be here if it wasn't for my relationship with God. And y'all know how much I struggled, things I've been through. But when I got better in a relationship with God, everything got better. And I did not know, and I could not have told you that I would be a full-time dad as a result of fixing my relationship with God. Because he said, seek first the kingdom, and everything else will be added. So I started seeking the kingdom, I started seeking him. And things like being a full-time dad was just added on to me. Provision. What? Provision? I mean, I got my own crib. I don't have a roommate anymore. It's just me and Amara by ourselves, and I have more money than I had when I had a roommate. Partly because of changing mindsets, changing of extracurricular activities. But it was him that renewed my mind. So now he's showing me how you provide extra shifts at work, covering other classrooms, Amazon, all this. And he's showing me how he's going to provide. And he's proven himself. Allow me to trust him. It's been a blessing. So, like I said, I'm a teacher now. I am a teacher now. A PE health teacher. Man, and I enjoyed the why. I loved the why, but now I'm back coaching. I'm coaching again. I love coaching. Imploring to kids. The same thing I do with my daughters. Imploring to kids. Success. Encouraging them that they could be more than what they've experienced or what they think they can be. Giving them real life lessons, life stories. And it helps that they look up to me in a way, because I was a college basketball player and just who I am, how I carry myself, energetic. I play with them in PE. I be hooping on them. I be getting them buckets. I don't care that they middle school. You shouldn't have got on the court with me. That's how I feel about it, at least. And my dad never let me win, so I'm going to let you win. I did let a couple slide, though. You let them get a couple shots in. And then they make it. It's like, dang, I should have played harder defense. Then you try to come back, and then you miss a shot. It's like, oh, man, well, I ain't about to chase you around this court now. If they go all too far and too strong, like, hey, yeah, you got that layup. I ain't chasing you like that, bro. It ain't happening. So I let a couple slide. like a couple slides. I won't lie. Because one day you're going to hear about it. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I beat you. You ain't going to come for me. I let a couple slide. You ain't better than me, though. Oh, all right. But, man, so I've been loving my experience as a PE teacher. I'm so thankful that God led me to this job. And I've been enjoying it. I've been here since last March. So it's been awesome, awesome, awesome. And I just got accepted to my Master's of Art in Teaching at North Carolina A&T. So I'm an Aggie now. I like to joke because, I went to the Citadel, so I say I got a little black. I'm a little blacker now because I got a HBCU in me. So I got that Aggie pride. So if any of you Central fans, all that kind of stuff, I'm learning how the vernacular so I can talk trash to you because that's what I do. I'm going to talk trash, but hey. So I got that, man. So I'm excited for that. My life is just soaring. It's going in such a better way, man. But so this full-time dad life, I'm so excited to chop it up with other fathers that's coming up and just talking to them about, fatherhood and my experiences. And so it's been such a beauty. I've been so thankful and just been graced with, with God's blessings, like I said, a provision and just peace, because my focus on was good, was right, was lovely, was praiseworthy. All these things that he promised if I focus on, he'll promise me his peace. He's been giving it to me because y'all know how I've been through. And on top of that, I just found out I got 3 kids. 3. So, and she's 5. Yeah, think about that. She's 5. I just found out about her a couple months ago, probably about 3 months ago now. It was tough. It has been tough for me mentally, not on being a father, but on me mentally. So it's my oldest, Amelia, her younger sister, Nayeli, found out just a couple months ago it was mine. She's mine. And the story, just a little bad job on that story, we always thought it was somebody else's. But for some reason, recently, because times didn't add up and all that kind of stuff, so recently they did a DNA test. For some reason, I'm not sure, but I was presented with the evidence. And so I did my own DNA test, and she is mine. I said, wow. But then I started to hurt a little bit. I've seen her. I see her all the time. Every time I pick up my oldest, she was there. And I've called her on her birthday. I've gave her presents, Christmas presents, birthday presents. I've talked to her on the phone because I didn't want to feel left out when, I'm talking to Amelia and everything. Or when if I'm bringing Amelia a present because I wanted to bring her one because she didn't feel left out. I know that the guy that we thought it was, he wasn't around. So I had a heart for her. But this whole time, she's been mine. That wasn't an easy pill to swallow. Not because I got 3 kids now. It's more of a responsibility. No. I've known you. I've seen you. And I left you behind. That has been not as much because I'm dealing with better and talking to God about, but man, that hurt. 2 summers. I picked up Amelia, my oldest, and I did not pick up my middle child, Elliott. 6 weeks each summer that she was home alone, wondering where her daddy was, who her daddy was. And I was right there the whole time. And so my mind just reeled on all the thoughts that she could have potentially be having and still may be having. Abandonment, worthlessness, any of these kinds of, and I know she's 5. And I know the last 2 summers she was 4 and 3, and she might not have thought these things, but as an adult, in my mind, how it works, as a father, a loving father who wants to be there for his kids, my mind just started going. It just started going like, man, she must hate me. She must, I couldn't even muster up. I mean, I've shed tears. I've thought about it. I've struggled with it. Like, dang. I did not know. I was right there. I should have known. I should have known. I promise you it wasn't easy. But I've been getting through it. And I just had her for her spring break, had all three of my kids. And I had such a great time. One thing that helped me from somebody that spoke to me and said, for somebody that didn't have a father or doesn't have a relationship with their father as a woman, just you coming in, whatever time you come in, just you coming and accepting me or accepting her is more worth it. It weighs more than me finding out and never stepping up to the plate. So that helped me step up because I was nervous at first. I was like, man, she might not want to be with me. It took her a couple weeks to even call me daddy. It took her months to call me to say she loved me. But it's going to take even longer to grow a relationship. So I had them this past week for spring break, and I had such a great time. All three of them fighting for attention, just showing me different things, me growing to know her and know them all together. They figuring it out. And so it's been such an awesome time. I had a great spring break. A great spring break. The first time I got a chance to spend time with Nayeli outside of being in her city and stuff like that, but really spending time with her, getting to know her, got just a little bit of alone time with her because just, seeking that out whenever I could. So that was amazing. That has been amazing. So it was just truly a blessing. It was a blessing. And I'm so glad that God showed me, even in this season of my life, that I have another daughter. Because if you showed me before, I'll probably get back with her mom because it made sense. I had two kids by the same woman. So I might as well get married, even though I wasn't happy, even though it wasn't the best situation for me at the time. I would have did it. But God saved me for that and then showed it to me at a time when he knew that he trusted me enough not to go back. I think that's pretty awesome of God. First of all, to even trust me, that's high honor, so that I continue to walk in a path that I've been walking in. And then just the way he works and that he would do it and make sure that I continue to stay where he wanted me to stay. And so I'm in awe of God, how he works in his ways. Because they are higher than our ways and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. And so, just to backtrack a little bit, I did have a conversation. So, even how I told her, Nayeli, my middle child, how she was mine, I called on the phone because the results didn't come in by the time I dropped Amelia off again during Christmas. This last Christmas, too, man, I did not have her. I found out when the results came in afterwards. I mean, yeah, I got her a present, but I didn't spend that time. But so when the results came in, I called her and had a conversation. And I made a promise. And if you know me, I don't make promises. It's very rare. I won't say don't. It's very rare that I make a promise. Only time I make a promise is if I know for a fact that I can keep it. And I knew for a fact that I can keep this promise. I told her, even though I didn't know, me and your mom, neither one of us knew. But I promise you, from this day forward, I will be the best father I know how to be and that I can be for you. To learn you, to love you, to grow with you. I promised her that. I said I will be the best father I know how to be and I can be, and I promise to grow to be even better father, so I can give you everything that you need. Because I'm so willing to give you all my love. So willing to take you under my wing, to teach you, to grow with you, to teach you about God, to teach you about life, to be that first love for you. It's an honor. And so I promise her that. And I'm going to keep my promise. Like I said, this past week the first time, but there's so much more to come. And it's so important as a daughter dad to be that for our kids. All daughter dads know, first of all, that love is something serious. The love of a daughter is something serious. I've never had a son, of course. So I don't know what that love is. I know it's a different type of love. You know, my thoughts is when I get a son, we're going to be playing basketball. I'm going to teach him the game. He going to take it further than I ever took it. He going to the NBA, overseas, all that, whatever. We're going to play sports together. If you choose a different sport, it don't matter. You know, you think about that when you have a son. And so, you know, maybe that happened one day. Maybe some twins, quadruplets, whatever. I like kids. But that daughter, daddy love, there's nothing like it. And my goal, and it's important to me, to be their first love. You know, in terms of, I'm the one that showed you what a man, how a man's supposed to love you, how he's supposed to treat you, how he's supposed to talk to you, how he's supposed to be there for you, how he's supposed to lead. That is important for a man to do that. That's so important. And so I take it upon myself to take pride in, if you will, just, hey, I'm going to be that man that you need as a father so you don't go looking for it out in the world. So you don't go look for it out in the world. Because I've been around plenty of women that didn't have a father or didn't grow up with their father, or don't have their father's influence, and the different ways they think and the different trials they've been through because they did not have that male voice, that male leader in the home or in their life, period. And I'm destined. I make it a point to make sure my daughters do not have that story. I might not live in a house with you, but my presence will always be known. And when you call, I'll be there to pick up. When you need me, I'm there for you. Whether I have to drive 4 hours, whether you're already in the house with me, whatever the case may be, I am here for you. And I love you. And it'll also make it easier for our relationship with our Heavenly Father. Because when you have a father in the home, a father that already taught you how to love, it's not hard to move on to learning about how our Heavenly Father, how God loves us. But if we don't have a father, sometimes it's like he's a loving father, but I ain't had no loving father. And even though that's not been my experience as a parent or as a child, I've heard so many stories. And so I want to make sure that my daughters do not have that story. So I'm here for them. It's important to me. It's so important to me. But I'm just so thankful that I know now. Everybody always asks me, like, how's that feel? Like, man, I know. I'm happy. I know. It's unexpected, but I know that there's not a child of mine that's out there that doesn't know who I am. And that's more important. Yeah, more responsibility. Yeah, more mouths to feed. But man, I know she's mine. She knows that I'm hers. Like, that matters more than anything. And everything else, we just figure it out. How you feel, man? I'm blessed. God revealed it to me, allow her to do a DNA test so that I can be a father that I want to be, because he knew how much, even if she got older and I never knew, how much it would tear me up. Even 5 years tore me up. Of not knowing, that tore me up. But I know for a fact that I'll be there for the rest of her days. As long as I'm alive, I'm there for her. And I can rest on that. And I can rest in that promise. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. So now have another aspect of fatherhood that I am learning about. And it's another thing that's not easy. And that's blending a family. So I got 3 kids, and my girl has 1 daughter. All girls. I'm not Kobe. I mean, I can. Yeah, if you see him in the court, you might say, "Oh, all right, you can't guard me." But 4 girls and five. If and a woman, 5. Wow, what a minute. I need me a son. Come on the way. Give me twins. Give me 2 boys. Something. But now I'm on this. I want to say roller coaster because it's good and not bad, but it's up and down, just like any relationship. So it's not a roller coaster of good and bad, but just the up and down of really much of learning, going through different tunnels, going through different twists and turns, going fast, going slow. It's a lot. So I didn't grow up in a blended family, so this is a totally new aspect for me. I mean, number one, parenting. We've been parenting by ourselves. She's been parenting by herself for the last, in terms of, not in the same household, just doing things how she wants to do it without having another's opinion or having to ask another's opinion or even just getting input from anybody else. For the last, 5 years or so, I've been doing it full time the last couple months, but I've been a parent. And every time they come here, that I've always done it my way. But now we're blending the family. And to say we won't about to throw bowls. You said, and she make a comment on just a suggestion, nothing malicious. It's a suggestion. Or maybe we want to do this. So, what you saying? I can't parent? So you saying I'm not a good enough father because you think you can come here because you've been a mother, you had it the whole time, you've been blessed to have it the whole time. But since I only get it as a secondary parent for most of my fatherhood experience, I don't know as much. And even though that's not ever the case, but that's how I feel. Like, I've been doing this. I fought for mine. What are you talking about? I've been to court. I've done all that. I know how to be a parent. I've changed that, but I've been there. you you gonna tell me how to parent? I mean, even vice versa. Just even suggestions and anything you saying, it's just and I think my reactions are worse because, like I said, y'all know my experiences. Y'all know my experiences. So I took it personal, like nah, like I don't care nothing about that. You can say whatever you want. I know how to parent. I don't need that. I'm good. I took offense to it. Easy. And that's something I had to work on. Like I said, vice versa. There was some offense. She was ready to throw bowls with me too. Probably because of my reactions though. So, man, blending a family, it's been beautiful. It's been awesome. It's been an experience. And so it's just really learning, learning a kid. I met her daughter when she was 6 and she's 8 now. So it's been about 2 years. So yeah, she's 6. She was 6. So just learning her mannerisms, learning who she is, learning what she likes and dislikes, as well as learning my girlfriend. We're getting closer to marriage, but that's why we're blending the family. That's why we're learning more about it and talking it out. I mean, tough conversations. When we talk about our kids, or we're talking about anything between our relationship, or especially kids, hey, you ready for a tough conversation? You ready for a tough talk? And they be tough. Like I said, we ready to fight. Something I may see that I dislike or think she could do better. Something she may see that she dislikes or I can do better. It's not even just parents, but like it's in a relationship as a whole. Because, when I first started, I was still healing. And healing is a process, so I'm still healing, but it's not as angry as I used to be now. All that back in the day. And you listen to the podcast before, I used to be so angry. So angry. But, it's like I said, being with God and his peace and everything, that definitely just helped a lot. and is following and seeking him first. He's definitely, eradicating a lot of that out of my life just because I've been focusing on him. But this stuff we had to talk about and just grow together in. And then it's just like I said, parenting is such a big thing about building a family. Treating the kids as the same as your kids, as her kids. Her kid is the same, and make sure you don't be harder on one than the other, or try to overcompensate with her kid, trying to be too nice, and so my kid doesn't feel away. Man, ups and downs. We're on a roller coaster, up and down. But it's been lovely because I've been learning a lot. And there's nothing easy about it. But anything worth it isn't easy, right? And the way everybody always say, anything worth it isn't easy. But I've learned a lot. It can be difficult. But when you come with the right mindset and you build a proper framework or a solid foundation, that we come together, and this is how we're going to teach our kids from here on out. Because it's going to be, my youngest who lives with me and her daughter, so they got to learn how to share spaces. We build that solid foundation of how we're going to raise them, then we can come to an agreement. Because, anytime, any marriage, anytime, two different backgrounds. She from Mississippi. I call that the dirty South. She from Mississippi, and I'm from New York originally, grew up in North Carolina, but a lot of my roots is New York. So a lot of things my parents taught me because they grew up in New York. It's New York mindset thing, and she grew up in the South. So even that just clashing, even how we even talk to each other can be clashing. Me and my family, we raise our voices, we talk with excitement, we yell, but we're not like yelling at each other, but we yell. And she's like, "Why are you yelling at me? That's so offensive." I'm like, "Bro, I'm just talking to you." What you mean? I'm just talking. I'm energetic. I have excitement. This is who I am. But as a leader and just as a relationship as a goal, sometimes you gotta mold yourself in a different way a little bit, just to learn, just to talk and just to communicate. Because communication is one of the biggest factors in a relationship. So if we can't communicate, even if the way I communicate is not selling in her spirit, right, I gotta change a little bit. I can't just say, "Oh, this is who I am, and this is it." That's just not going to work that way. Just don't. So, man, all that we just growing together, and it's been a blessing. And just learning so much. And so I have to say, as a father, I've experienced a lot. And I think it's made me well-rounded. I think that's why it makes the podcast even better. Like, I know what it's like to not live with my kid. I know what it's like to have my kid kept away from me. I know what it's like to be a full-time dad. I know what it's like just to be a secondary to get my kid every weekend. I know what it's like to be in an amicable co-parent relationship. I know what it's like to not be in an amicable co-parent relationship. I know what it's like to now I'm knowing and I'm learning what it's like to blend a family. I'm learning so many different aspects, and I've experienced so many different aspects of fatherhood. So now I can relate in so many different ways to so many different people. And that's what the beauty of this podcast is. And that's so awesome. That's so awesome. And it's a testimony because I have a friend that I'm growing to know now that he had with some troubles as a father, and I was able to be for him what I wish people could be for me. It's not to say my family wasn't there and nothing like that, because they were. But they didn't experience what I experienced as a father. Like my dad experienced a lot of it as a child, but not as a father. So he could tell me from the other side, from the child's perspective. But I had nobody could tell me from the father's perspective. And I was able to be that for him. I even told a testimony at church, like, "Hey, I went through this, and now God turned it for good. The enemy meant it for evil, and God turned it for good." That I was able to be there for him at his time. And I was able to be what I needed at that time. I know how alone it felt. I know how much it sucks. I know how much pain, how many tears you cry. Because, I cried some real tears doing all that. Real tears. I mean, hurt, pain, feel alone. And I'm able to be there for somebody. And many other people in the future. And I was able to, and with my relationship with God, I was able to intermingling with my life with Christ and how that makes it so much better and just grow. I mean, I remember I had alopecia. Like, look, my alopecia is gone for the most. Like, I'm good. Y'all remember that? All because of my relationship with the Father. And I could tell him, like, hey, I went through it. I was stressed. I lost my hair, lost my beard. Like, it's grown back, but you didn't see me back then. I was struggling. I was able to be what I needed. And that was such a blessing. And so when we have guests and who I am, and when we have guests, we're going to follow the 3 principles of my L.L.C, Quinton L.L.C. That's what the Four Fathers podcast is under, as well as my blog, Vehement blog, and other things. But we following 3 principles: authentic, raw, and transparent. Art. Authentic, raw, and transparent. I just ask that every guest come up here, be authentic, raw, and transparent. Because you never know who we are helping by being yourself, by telling your story, by being real. And of course, and everybody knows as men, we don't do this enough. This platform is a safe place for men to be that. Authentic, raw, and transparent. To be that. Because we don't have enough of it. We don't talk about it enough. Come on here, talk about it. Let's be real. Express yourself. Be emotional. Because we need it for our own personal self. Our families need it as a leader. We need to be that example. So come up here and be the example. Tell your story. Of course, we're not here to bash women. We're not here to bash anybody. But let's tell our story for what it is and what happened. For me, I couldn't see my kid. I started this podcast because I couldn't see my kid. And I made sure I'm going to put this out there because whenever she grows up, if I never see her again and she finds me on the internet, she'll know for a fact that daddy loved you. And I'll always here for you. It was just things in a way that I couldn't be what I wanted to be. That's why I started this podcast. But now I'm in such a better place. I get my kids. I see them on a regular basis with minimal flack, minimal struggle. Now I could just be a safe place. Let's just chop it up. Let's talk about what we've been through and how we got through it and how we can help others be that for their kids, to be that leader. And that leads to and segues to being a watchman, what I like to call a spiritual watchman. That's in the Bible, and that's when you find in Ezekiel, God told Ezekiel to be that watchman. And a watchman, especially like when Nehemiah, when they was telling the story of Nehemiah, that watchman was on that wall with the working tool in one hand and a weapon in the other hand. The watchman watched on the walls that surrounded the city. And they let the people know. They'll blow the trumpet if there's any danger coming, especially during harvest season. People that try to come in and pillage their community, the watchman will call out, and they will also fight. Our weapon as a spiritual watchman is prayer. They will call out and let people know, hey, this is coming. The enemy is coming. And that's what us men, what we have to do. Be that watchman for our communities, our families. Pray for our families. Pray for our kids. Pray for our communities, our work, our jobs. We need to be prayer warriors. As men, we are the leaders. It says Christ is the head and man is the head of the household. We submit ourselves to Christ, and then our wives submit themselves to us. But it also says that men submit themselves to their wives as well. So this is not some domineering thing. You're not a leader because you're domineering, because you're dogmatic, because you tell them what to do, and you just sit back and kick your feet up and put your feet on the counter and drink coffee and read the newspaper. Nah, you're a leader by example. Jesus came as a king, but Jesus was a servant. And as a leader, as a man, you need to be a servant of your family, servant of your community. You're the leader, you're the head, but you are the chief servant. You should be the servant. Serve your community. And that starts with prayer. God told Ezekiel, he said, if somebody is righteous and that goes to wickedness, you need to talk to them and tell them to be righteous again. Somebody that's wicked, you need to warn them of their ways and tell them to be righteous. Speak to them and encourage them, uplift them. If they choose not to listen, that's on them. The blood is on their hands. But if you don't ever speak to them, the blood is on your hands. Men, the blood is on your hands if you don't lead your families. We are the watchmen of our communities, of our families. The blood is on your hands. If they blow the trumpet on the wall and they don't listen, the blood is not on the watchman's hands. But if they never blow the trumpet and the enemy comes and pillages their household, pillages their city, it's the watchman's fault. And that's who we are. Men, we are the watchmen. Fathers, we are the watchmen. So I'm calling you. I'm imploring you. I'm challenging you. Step up to the plate and be the man that you're called to be. There's a lot on our shoulders. We are called to raise our kids in the way they should go. We are called to wash our wives with the word. Just like Jesus washed us with the word. That's what we're called to do. That's how you should be leading. It's important. We are needed. That's why the adversary, because we blame the government, we blame all these things, but it's really the adversary that's using the government and that's using racism, that's using all these different methods to take the man out the household. Not only the black man, the white man, the Asian, whoever, they're taking the man out the household because that is the order that God set in the beginning. Man is the head of the household, and Christ is the head of the church. That's the order he set up. So walk in that. It's a lot of responsibility. So lean on God. Lean on the Spirit. Let him teach you and guide you. But you are the chief servant in your household. You are so needed. Men, you are so needed. And this podcast is here to uplift and encourage. Let's go and be everything that God has for us. Let's speak life to each other. Let's be authentic, raw, and transparent. This is episode 90. Look forward to seeing y'all again. Stay blessed.